This is the AYN Thor, and it has changed the way I think about video games. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that kind of video. All right, howdy folks, I'm Sir Adam, and this is my review of the AYN Thor. Now, I know that there's plenty of reviews out there for the Thor, much better reviews than what I could ever hope of making. But even so, I wanted to toss mine into the ring and just talk about my thoughts with it. What I like about the Thor, what I don't like about it, and why you might want to buy one, and why you might not want to buy one. So with the stupid skit and the introductions out of the way, let's go to another camera angle. What'd I tell ya? Okay, first thing I wanted to touch on was the reason most people bought this thing in the first place, including me to some extent, and that is the looks, the feels, and most importantly, the aesthetics of the AYN Thor. There is absolutely no denying it. The Thor is a very beautiful little handheld. It's no wonder this thing blew up across the internet. You know, you watch YouTube videos, you watch TikToks of people playing this in the forest because that's totally something real people do, and you've got a whole bunch of people buying this thing. I mean, you take a new 3DS XL, you add some joysticks, you add some OLED screens, and boom, you got a recipe for success. It's a cool looking console. What more can be said? And like I said, that's part of the reason I bought one. I thought it looked really awesome, but I also wanted to play games, to be clear. Don't lump me into those other people, okay? But the physical design of the handheld alone won't cut it if the software side is not also cool. Now, somewhat unfortunately, that is something you're gonna have to set up yourself if you so choose. When you first get the Thor, it's just gonna look like a basic Android phone. It's gonna be quite boring. But hey, if all you wanna do is just get right into the games, then that's fine, you can do that. But if you wanna gussy things up, you can get what's known as a front end, like what I have here. Basically, what a front end is, it's a menu that goes on top of your menu, so you don't have to look at it. You can select all your games, and it looks more like a console experience instead of a Samsung phone. The one I've got here is called Cocoon. It's one of the more popular ones because it emulates the look, feel, and sound effects of the 3DS. But there are loads of other front ends out there. There's more simple ones. They're just like a nice clean list of your games, and then there's complete overhauls like what Cocoon does here. And that's another awesome thing you can do with the Thor. Not only does it look cool, but you can spend hours upon hours making the actual software side look cool as well. For example, with this Virtual Boy folder that I have here, I found this like ad here. I found the logo and I found the icon that I liked, so I set that all up myself. There is such a deep level of customization, and I know there are a lot of people out there who that might be their main thing that they do with this device. I'm convinced there are people out there who spend all of their time customizing and decorating the Thor and no time actually playing the games. I'm not one of those people. I want to customize it and make it look cool enough, but then I also want to play the games. That's why I only have like, 25 games or so. And side note, that is a good piece of advice I could give you is do not, if you get one of these emulation handhelds, do not overload it with games. Only put on the games that you actually plan on playing. The way I go about it is if there is a console that I never plan on buying in real life, like the Virtual Boy, or if there are games that are way too expensive to buy physically, like Feta, the Emblem of Justice, I'm gonna put them on the Thor because I don't plan on buying them in real life. And then, you've got ROM hacks and stuff like that too. Or games that I just put on here to test, like Monster. I actually have Monster Hunter, but I wanted to see how much better it would be on the Thor. And it is actually a lot better. So yeah, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be don't overload this thing. Don't put 5,000 games on this. Just get the games that you plan on playing and go from there. Beat them, then add a couple more, beat those, add a couple more, and then hey, you'll have gradually made a large collection of emulated games. Just don't start out that way. So yeah, when you couple the beautiful, sleek design of the Thor with the endless amounts of customization you can do on the two screens here, you get an awesome experience. And now you get to enjoy some beautiful gameplay footage provided by yours truly while I continue to ramble on. Now, another thing I really appreciate with the Thor is the community surrounding it. It's a big, very active, very passionate group of people who have provided such an amazing amount of resources to help you with any problems you might have or any questions you might have. And one of the first interactions you'll have with the community is when you first get the Thor. You're gonna have to figure out how to set it up, and luckily for you, there are boatloads of guides out there to follow. Best example of this, of course, is the Retro Game Core guide. It's over an hour long, going over pretty much every single thing you might ever need to set up on the Thor. It's awesome. And then you've got more specific videos going over different front ends, different emulators, how to download turnip drivers, going over updates on different news and doodads happening with the Thor. It's really awesome that there are cool people making cool videos for the Thor. And in that big, passionate community, there is a lot of talent. And that's how we've gotten such awesome things like the front ends that everyone loves. Cocoon, Isu, name another 5 or 10 different front ends that exist out there. It's so cool that we have such a large selection of these things that people have just made in their free time because they wanted to, because they like this device so much, they wanted to make that. That's just awesome. And then beyond that, there's apps that people have made. James DSP, the guy who runs the RetroPup channel, he made an app called Mimir. I don't really know what it does, but hey, he loved the Thor so much, he made an app for it. That's just cool. So all of those things, along with the troubleshooting and answering of your questions, it's a group of really excited people striving to make the Thor the best that it can be. But possibly the biggest reason I bought the Thor, actually no, scratch that. The biggest reason I bought the Thor was discovering how capable of a device it was gonna be for me. I didn't have any concerns if it could play old consoles, GameCube, N64, even Wii and Switch to some extent. Those are small potatoes. Of course they're gonna run good on this. What I was more curious about, and what I didn't even know existed until I was looking into the Thor, was PC emulation. When I found out that was a thing, I was like, well, hey, this could replace my Steam Deck. And guess what? It did just that. Now, yes, I used to have a Steam Deck. I liked it. I might even say I loved it. It was a really cool device, but even when I was having fun using it, I wasn't having fun. I always had like something that was bugging me with it. I don't know. I liked the design. I liked the user interface. I liked the capabilities. I didn't like the battery life, and I didn't like the Xbox button layout. Hated those. But yeah, I never clicked with it. So, long story short, sold it. Now I just have the Thor. But back to PC emulation. Now, I'm not into the usual suspects of indie games that people tout on devices like the Thor. The Hades, Hades 2, Ball X Pit, crap like that. Don't care, haven't played them, never will. But there are a few select indie games out there, mostly platformers, that I was very intrigued if they would run on a device like this. One such example is a game called Carol Quest 64. It's kind of like a mix between Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. Very cool, looking forward to it. It's not out yet, but it does have a very fun demo. So I downloaded Game Native, one of the PC emulation apps you can get, and the one I recommend. And then I downloaded the demo, booted it up, and lo and behold, it ran beautifully, almost as if it was meant to be played on this. Now granted, that's not always going to be your experience. This is emulation, so there's bound to be some glitches, bugs. Some games that you think are absolutely gonna work are just not for some reason. That's just how emulation is sometimes. So as long as you look out for that and also curb your expectations as to what's gonna run on the Thor, you're not gonna be able to play every single AAA game on this thing. You're gonna have a great time with PC emulation. I had plenty of old console games I wanted to emulate on this thing, mostly the ones that are way too expensive to buy physically, but I also wanted to play some indie games that are only on Steam and GOG, so that was a super big plus for me. And if you're like me and you didn't like the Steam Deck, again, this is an alternative for that. So yeah, just add that to the list of great things about the Thor. Sadly, as much as the people posting aesthetic videos and pictures would have you believe, the Thor is not perfect. It's got problems, okay? I've got two caveats I have with the device. One of them is more subjective and thankfully can be rectified, but the other one might be a deal breaker for some of you. So let's get that big one out of the way first. It is the ergonomics of the Thor. It's not comfy, okay? It just ain't. I mean, the corners here can at times dig into your palms. The shoulder buttons, I don't know, they're just kind of awkwardly placed. I don't know if it's the shape of them or just how far away they are from your fingers. I don't know, it just feels kind of weird to hit those. And most egregiously are the joysticks and the D-pad. If I were to hold this, you know, like this more normally, look how much I'm having to bend my thumbs to reach the joysticks. And even more so, gotta break my thumb, ow, to reach the D-pad. It's very uncomfortable. And if I want more comfort, I gotta be like this, and that's just awkward. I don't have enough, you know, like grip on the console when I'm holding it like this. And I know that there's, you know, 3D printed grips and stuff that you can get, and I might eventually get one of those, but that doesn't really come into account when I'm reviewing the console on its own. That's a band-aid. So if you're looking to get the Thor, just be warned, it is not very comfortable. And there might be people out there like, oh, I never had a problem with Thor. It's the most comfortable thing I've ever used. And, well, I don't, okay, cool. It's great for you. Just me personally, I gotta take a break every once in a while because it makes my thumb sore. So keep that in mind. And that other caveat I mentioned was the speakers. When you first get the Thor, the speakers are not that great. They're gonna be quiet and they're gonna sound like a tin can. Take a listen.
Mario Kart 7!
Thankfully, there is a solution. If you get this app right here, James DSP, follow a tutorial on how to set it all up, your sound will come out like this.
Mario Kart 7!
So in my humble opinion, even if you don't get anything else, you keep everything stock, you don't get a front end, you don't do any customization, you just get the emulators, you gotta get this thing. It is a must. You absolutely have to do it. In my opinion, if you're not having the best sound in the video games, you're not experiencing it to its fullest. So again, if you don't do anything else, please, I'm begging you, get James DSP. And it's not that hard to set up either. Plenty of tutorials out there.
Okay, you've heard my thoughts, you've heard my praises, you've heard my concerns. But the real question remains, do I recommend you buy this thing? And the answer, unfortunately, is no, I don't. I can't. Why? Because it's too expensive. If this was like 5 months ago when I bought it, I'd be like, absolutely, buy this thing right now. But now, the Pro model, which is what I have here, it's 450 bucks. At least last time I checked. Might have gone up even more. So yeah, for what this is, it's an amazing device. All the games you can play and emulate, the PC emulation, the front ends, all the goodies. But that's not worth
409
bucks. Do you know how much food you could buy?
409
bucks. Do you know how many other consoles you could buy?
409
bucks, especially used ones. And it's for that reason that yes, I cannot, in good conscience, recommend the Thor at this time. The only ways I could recommend this thing is if it goes on sale like Black Friday or if you find one used. So yeah, there we go. Hate to end it on such a low note, and this is the lowest of the low, that being the price. But that's how the cookie crumbles. I wanted to review this thing, and you gotta take the good with the bad. And yeah, if I did not own this as of right now, and I was shopping for it and I went to the store and I saw the price, I'd be like, no way, I'm not buying that. I don't need it. Guess I'm not getting a Thor. So if I wouldn't buy it today, I can't recommend that you do so. That is unless you just have a bunch of money and you don't care about it and you're just like, yeah, I mean, there's people who bought the steam machines, so this is a drop in the water compared to that. Anyways, with that out of the way, thank you for watching. Post your concerns and comments in the, the comments below, and hey, stay tuned for more videos. Sir Adam, signing out.